Hi, this is Tamara at mooglyblog.com, and in this video I'm going to demonstrate how to make slip stitch ribbing. If you want to make ribbing for a hat, for the cuffs of a sweater, fingerless mitts, anything you would want a nice stretchy ribbing for, slip stitch ribbing is a great solution. For this video, I'll be using Lion Brand Yarn's Woolies Thick and Quick, specifically the bonus bundle, which is great because it's 2 skeins in one. 2 balls of Woolies Thick and Quick, all in one. So fewer ends to weave in and a nice big yarn. And here I have, this is this yarn, but in the oatmeal colorway, and a finished swatch. So first I want to show you what slip stitch ribbing can do. Let me set this one aside. This is the oatmeal colorway. And these are just slip stitches in the back loop only, worked back and forth in rows. And you can see, if I turn it up the right way, it looks a little bit like knitting, actually, just looking at it. And even when I pull it apart, and look how crazy stretchy this is. Whoa! And it comes right back together. This is an awesome technique for ribbing, as you can see. And even when it's stretched out, it looks a little bit like knitting, which is kind of fun. You can see it looks good on both sides. So let me go ahead and show you how it's made. Like I said, I'll be using the Lion Brand Woolies Thick and Quick for this one. I like to pull most yarns. Oh, that one's got a little bit of fuzz in it there. I like to pull most yarns from the outside, actually, rather than the in, especially when they're this big, because if you try to pull from the inside on this one and you get a little bit of yarn barf, you're going to get a lot of yarn barf. So I'll pull up some yarn. I'm also using a Furls N hook, which is the recommended size for this yarn. So to make this ribbing, you can start with any number of stitches, any at all. You could make ribbing 500 stitches wide if you want to. Of course, that would be pretty boring to watch on video, so I'm just going to chain 6 here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, what I'm going to do is, if you've watched my other videos, you know I like to work into that back hump. For this, it's a little different. I'm going to be working into the back loop only of each stitch. Let me pull it up a little closer to the camera here. So what I want to do is skip the one stitch closest to the hook and move to the stitch after that. So I'm going to go into that back loop only. And remember, the back loop is always the loop that's furthest away from you as the crocheter. It's a relative term, so I flipped it this way. That's now the back loop. So working back into it, we go under that back loop only and make a slip stitch. Now the key to making slip stitches that are easy to work into later is to pause for just a second when you've got both loops on the hook before you pull that loop through the other one. By that doing that little pause there, that makes the slip stitch just a little bit looser than if you did it all in one fluid movement, and that'll make it a lot easier to go into next time. So then we just continue doing that on across, go under the back loop, pull up a loop, pause for a sec, pull it on through, all the way to the end, just your standard slip stitches. Like I say, you just want to do that little pause to make sure they're going to be easy to work into the next time. So that's row 1. Row 2, and every row after that, very simple. Chain 1, try not to drop your hook like I just did. Turn, there we go. We're going to skip the chain 1, we're not going to work into that, and we're going to go into that back loop of each stitch across. So just pull it through like a standard slip stitch. I just want to do a couple rows here. Hopefully, if you're watching this, odds are you already know how to slip stitch, so that part's not anything new. But it's amazing what a simple slip stitch can do. You can see, oops, if I can get it under just that one loop there we go. After just a couple rows, it's already giving us that really cool look. And the other thing I want to point out is, I've noticed when I'm making slip stitch ribbing, each row, the last row that I've just finished, seems a little narrower than the previous rows. It always makes me stop and count and, yeah, okay, I've got all the right stitches on there I should. As you work into it, that stretches the previous row a little bit, and it does end up nicely even on either side, as you can see from our swatch here. As long as you keep your stitch count consistent, you should have a nice even piece of crocheting. So if I were to just keep going with this, eventually it would look like this one. You can see, again, that great stretch we get, but really each row is just chain 1, skip that chain 1, and then slip stitch in the back loop only across. And that is really all there is to working slip stitch ribbing. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial video. If you did, be sure to give it a like, subscribe to our channel, and let us know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much for watching.